Hello and welcome to Talk English to Me. I'm Gautier and I'm so glad you're joining us today. In this first episode of Learn English Quickly with Podcast, we'll be walking you through some key English conversations to help you learn quickly and effectively. Whether you're just starting out or you want to improve your skills, you're in the right place. Stay with us and let's get started.
Hi there, I'm Santa. I'm excited to be here with Gautier to help guide you through this learning journey. We've got a lot of fun, practical lessons ahead. So make sure you're ready to practice because we're about to dive in and learn together. Let's go.
All right, so welcome to another deep dive. You know how this works. You send us stuff, we dig through it and pull out the nuggets of gold for you.
Exactly.
So today we're doing something kind of different. We're deep diving into learning English, not by, like the grammar rule kind of way, but by looking at an actual conversation.
Yeah, I mean, that's how we learn language, right? Like babies.
Yeah.
It's just through exposure and picking things up.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be a really useful deep dive for all of our listeners out there who are learning English maybe as a second language or a third language or fourth or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, so the source that the learner pointed us to is a YouTube video. It's called Learn English Quickly with Podcast. Oh boy. Yeah. That's a mouthful. English learning conversation. Episode 1 from the channel English Podcast Zone.
Okay.
So, and it's basically like a little skit.
Yeah.
It's like two people just having a conversation, and it's supposed to sound like real English that people actually speak.
Okay.
So, and I think our mission here today is to really like pull out those nuggets of gold. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's find those key phrases, those key vocabulary words that we can use to actually, boost our fluency, our understanding of English.
Absolutely. And make it more approachable. I think that's the main thing, right? Like when we're looking at textbooks, it can be really daunting.
Yeah.
But if you're like, oh, okay, this is how people actually speak.
Yeah.
Then it becomes less scary, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So let's dive right in.
Okay.
So the scene opens with these two people, Nick and Anna.
Mm-hmm.
They're meeting.
Okay.
And they kind of realize that they've met before at a conference.
Okay.
And Nick is like, super awkward. He's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I can't remember your name.
That's the worst.
And I think we've all been there. It's just like.
So embarrassing. That moment where your brain just farts and you're like, eh. I know this person, but I can't remember their name.
So right off the bat, we get this really useful phrase, in a bit of a hurry.
Okay.
And he says this to explain, why he can't really stop and chat right now. So it's like, oh, hey, good to see you. I'm actually in a bit of a hurry. Mm-hmm. Gotta go. But it was really nice seeing you again.
So what's the takeaway from that? What does it mean?
So basically, in a bit of a hurry is a way of saying that you don't have much time. You're moving quickly.
Right.
You've got places to be, people to see.
Things to do, yeah.
And the video actually gave us some really good examples of how to use this phrase in a sentence. So let's go over those.
Yeah, we'll see them.
So one of them was, can you drive faster? I'm in a bit of a hurry.
That's a good one, yeah.
Another one was, I can't talk right now. I'm in a bit of a hurry.
Yeah.
And then the last one was, I'm in a bit of a hurry, so I'll check these files later.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like you're busy, you've got stuff to do.
Yeah, you're kind of like rushing, you're trying to get things done quickly. So in a bit of a hurry, I think captures that feeling quite well.
And there are other ways you can say this as well, right?
Like for sure.
You could say I'm short on time. Or if you want to be really informal, you could just say, I got to run.
I got to run. Yeah, exactly.
I got to jet.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and even the way you say it, in a bit of a hurry, if you say it really quickly, it sounds like you're more in a hurry than if you kind of draw it out.
Right, like I'm in a bit of a hurry.
Yeah, right? It changes the meaning slightly.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. So that was the first one, in a bit of a hurry.
Right.
What's next?
Next, we have contact details.
All right, contact details.
So Nick, he offers his card and says, you've already got my contact details from the conference.
Right.
So what are we talking about when we say contact details?
So contact details is basically all the information that you need to get in touch with someone.
Exactly.
So it's their name, their phone number, their email address.
Yeah.
Maybe their website if they have one.
Maybe their social media handles.
Yeah.
Physical address if that's relevant.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So it's all the essential information
Right.
that you need to, to connect with someone.
Perfect.
And then we move on to the reason why Nick was being so awkward in the first place.
Yeah. What was that?
He totally forgot Anna's name.
Oh, no.
And he's like, you know what? This is really embarrassing, but your name has just slipped my mind.
Oh, slipped my mind. That's a good one.
Yeah, slipped my mind is like the perfect way to say you forgot something, especially when it's something that's kind of awkward to forget. You know, it's like, oh, shoot, sorry. It just totally slipped my mind.
Yeah, it wasn't on purpose.
Yeah, you know, it wasn't intentional. It just went poof.
Yeah, it just like vanished into thin air.
Yeah, exactly. And the video gave us some more examples of how to use slipped my mind in different contexts.
Okay, let's hear them.
So one example was, I'm sorry I forgot to respond to your email. It just slipped my mind.
Happens all the time.
Yeah, and then another one was, don't you know what day it is today? Oh, if it's your birthday. It completely slipped my mind.
Oh, no, classic birthday forgetter.
Yeah, it's like, oh no, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
It totally slipped my mind.
Yeah, I like that phrase. I think it's a really good one.
Yeah, it's kind of like a softener, you know?
It is, yeah.
It's like, it's not like I just straight up forgot.
Yeah.
It's like it slipped my mind.
Yeah, and sometimes you can almost remember it.
Yeah.
Right? It's like on the tip of your tongue.
Yeah.
But you just can't quite.
Yeah, it's like right there.
Yeah, but just out of reach.
You can't grab it.
Okay, so we've got in a bit of a hurry, we've got contact details, and we've got slipped my mind, all super useful phrases.
Great.
Now, the video kind of shifted gears, and they had a section called Putting It Together.
Okay.
And this is where they kind of showed how these words that we've already learned, how they can be used in kind of like broader conversational contexts.
Gotcha. So building upon what we already know.
Yeah, exactly. So the first phrase they looked at was around here.
Okay.
And this came up when Anna asked Nick if he lives around here,
Okay.
which basically means, does he live close by? Is he a local?
Got it.
You know, so it's like if you're looking for a restaurant, you might ask someone, hey, is there a good Italian restaurant around here?
Yeah. Is there a bank around?
Is there a bank around here? Exactly.
Yeah. Perfect example.
And then they also talked about right around the corner.
Okay, so that's a little bit different.
Yeah, so right around the corner is even more specific than around here.
Okay.
Right around the corner means it's literally like on the next street.
Okay.
It's very, very close.
So you can see it.
Almost, yeah.
Okay.
So if someone tells you, oh, there's a great coffee shop right around the corner, you know, it's just a short walk away.
Got it. So around here is general vicinity.
Yeah.
Right around the corner is like immediate.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they even talked about around there.
Around there. Yeah, so that's a little bit more vague than both of those.
Okay.
Around there is like referring to a general area. So the example they gave was, Los Angeles is a great city. I used to live around there. Which means, you know, somewhere in the general Los Angeles area.
Yeah, but not necessarily right in the city center.
Right, exactly.
Okay, good.
So it's kind of like, you know, here is like very local to where you are.
Yeah.
Right around the corner is immediate.
Yeah.
And then around there is like
A little bit further out.
a little bit further, but still relatively close.
Got it. Okay, cool.
What was the next one in the putting it together section?
Okay, so the next one was terrible with.
Terrible with. Okay.
Yeah, so this is where Nick's trying to kind of make light of the fact that he forgot Anna's name.
Right.
And he says, you know, don't worry about it. Happens to me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm terrible with names too.
I'm terrible with names. Yeah. And terrible with is just like a super common way to say that you're really bad at something.
Right, like I'm terrible with directions.
I'm terrible with directions. Yeah, exactly.
No.
Or I'm terrible with math.
Yeah. I'm terrible with technology, whatever it may be.
Yeah, and the video actually gave us some more examples of how to use this.
Okay.
So one of them was, you're terrible with numbers. You can't even remember your own telephone number.
Oof.
Yeah, another one was, I'm terrible with directions. I'm always getting lost.
Relatable.
And then, I'm terrible with faces. I can never remember what people look like.
Ooh, yeah.
So it covers like a whole range of, you know,
Yeah.
common difficulties that people have.
Absolutely. And I thought it was really interesting that they actually, the hosts in the video, they kind of shared their own terrible withs.
Oh, yeah. What were those?
So Erica, the host, she said that she's terrible with numbers.
Oh, yeah.
Which I can definitely relate to.
Me too.
And then Marco, the other host, he said that he's terrible with faces. And he was like, yeah, this can lead to some awkward situations.
Yeah.
Like forgetting who people are.
Yeah. I think it's always nice when they kind of like bring it back to their own
Yeah.
personal
It
experience.
makes you feel better about yourself.
Yeah, it makes you feel like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
We all have these little quirks.
We're all human. We're all terrible with something.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So then after putting it together, the video moved on to a section called Fluency Builder.
Okay.
And this part was all about that very first greeting that Anna used when she saw Nick.
Yeah. What was it again?
She said, how's it going?
How's it going?
And the point they were making is that while how are you or how are you doing are perfectly correct ways to greet someone.
Right.
How's it going? Just has this like more natural and more casual vibe to it.
Yeah, you're
right. It's like the kind of like friendly, easygoing way to start a conversation.
Yeah, and I think you use it when you see someone you already know.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's not like you're meeting someone for the first time.
Yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't use it in like a super formal situation.
Yeah.
Like a job interview or something.
Yeah, exactly. But if you're just like, bumping into a friend or a colleague.
Yeah.
How's it going is perfect.
Absolutely.
And this whole like forgetting names thing, that Nick experienced.
Yeah.
This actually prompted the hosts of the video to share some of their own awkward stories.
Oh, really?
About forgetting names.
Wonder what they said.
So Marco, he told this really funny story about being at a family reunion.
Oh, no.
And he totally blanked on the name of one of his uncles.
The pressure.
I know. And he was like, I couldn't remember his name for the life of me.
Oh, my God.
So he had to like subtly pull one of his cousins aside and be like,
yeah.
Uncle, what's his name again?
Not his name. I can't remember.
Yeah. And you can just imagine like the awkwardness of that situation.
Oh, the
like,
dread.
Right.
Yeah. You can totally picture it.
It's like, oh, God, what if he overheard me?
Exactly.
So what about Erica? Did she have a story too?
She did. So she actually shared some of her strategies for those situations.
Yeah.
When you're like in the business world.
Right.
And you forget someone's name.
Oh, that's even worse.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Super embarrassing.
Yeah.
So she said one of her go-to moves is to just ask for a business card.
Oh, that's smart.
Right. Which is totally acceptable.
Yeah, totally.
Because no one's going to be offended by that.
Yeah. You're like, oh, do you mind if I grab one of your cards?
Exactly.
And then you can just like discreetly
I glance at it.
Glance at the name and be like, okay.
Okay, I remember now. Yeah.
I got it.
So smart.
And she also said that sometimes she'll ask someone to spell out their email address.
Oh, yeah.
Which, again, gives you their full name.
Right.
So it's like a sneaky way.
Yeah, sneaky way to get the information you need.
To get that information, without being like, hey, I forgot your name.
Oh, so sorry, I forgot your name.
I think those are really good tips.
Yeah, those are really good tactics.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have. We've got all these useful phrases, vocabulary. Yep. And then the video wrapped things up with a review section.
Okay.
They called it the English Pod Audio Review.
Kicky.
It was really good. It was like a quick recap of all the language that they had covered.
Perfect. So it's like a good way to kind of solidify everything.
Yeah, exactly. So they would say the meaning and then the corresponding word or phrase.
Yeah.
So let's do like a little run through of that.
Okay. That's
just to kind of, solidify it for our listeners.
Absolutely.
So first up, we had how are you or how's it going?
Yeah.
Those are pretty interchangeable in a lot of situations.
Right. Casual greetings.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Close to here translates to around here.
Yep.
If something is on the next street, you can say around the corner.
Makes sense.
When you're moving quickly, having no time, you're in a bit of a hurry.
Uh-huh.
And then all that information that you need to contact someone, like their telephone number, their email address.
Yeah.
That's their contact details.
The contact details. Perfect. When something has been forgotten, it has slipped my mind.
Slipped my mind.
To be bad at something is to be terrible with.
Yep.
If something is close to there, you can say around there.
Got it.
To know and remember someone or something you have seen before is to recognize.
Recognize, yes.
Someone you know, but who is not a close friend, that's an acquaintance.
Acquaintance, right.
If you move quickly and not have much time, you are in a rush.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are forgetting things easily, you are forgetful.
Forgetful. Okay, cool.
So there you have it. The learner, all those key words and phrases, all wrapped up in a nice little package.
And they even gave us some example sentences, right?
Oh, yeah, they did.
To illustrate how to use these.
They did. So for around here, we heard things like, excuse me, is there a bakery around here? Did I leave my keys somewhere around here?
Classic.
Yeah.
Always losing your keys.
Yeah.
Okay, what about in a bit of a hurry?
For in a bit of a hurry, they gave us, I'm in a bit of a hurry now, so I will talk to you later.
Okay.
His wife was having a baby, so he was in a bit of a hurry.
Oh, yeah. Understandable.
And then the classic, can you drive faster? I'm in a bit of a hurry.
Can you drive faster?
Yeah.
Okay.
So for contact details, they had things like, Isabel, do you have the contact details of our internet service provider?
Uh-huh.
Here's my card with all my contact details.
Nice and simple.
And then I don't have your contact details.
Perfect. Okay.
For sleep my mind, we heard, Sorry, I forgot to respond to your email. Just slipped my mind.
Uh-huh.
I forgot I had a dentist appointment this afternoon. It must have slipped my mind.
Oops.
And I'm sorry I forgot your birthday. It completely slipped my mind.
Classic. Yeah.
And then for terrible with, we got, I always make mistakes with the budget. I'm terrible with numbers.
Uh-huh.
I am terrible with directions. I always get lost.
Relatable.
And every time I turn on the computer, something happens. I'm terrible with technology.
Oh, yeah, that's me. So as you can see, the learner, even this like short everyday conversation is just packed with useful English.
It is.
That you can actually start using.
Right away.
Right away.
Yeah.
And I think, by listening to these kinds of real conversations, you're not just learning the vocabulary, you're learning the rhythm.
Right.
The flow of English conversation.
Absolutely. And that's so important, right? Like, it's one thing to know the words, but it's another to know how to use them in a natural way.
And to kind of like feel the rhythm of the language.
Yeah, that's when it starts to feel more natural and you feel more confident.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so to wrap things up, the learner, I want you to think about this.
Okay.
Have you ever had a moment like Nick?
Uh-huh.
Where you totally blanked on someone's name?
Yeah.
Or maybe you used one of these phrases.
Yeah.
Or you were in a situation where you were like, oh, I wish I knew how to say that in English.
So how did that situation play out?
Yeah.
And what other everyday scenarios can you imagine using these phrases in your own life?
That's a good question.
Yeah, because it's all about taking these little nuggets of gold and making them your own.
Right.
And integrating them into your own language.
Yeah, that's how we learn.
That's how we learn.
Awesome.
So keep on learning, keep on practicing, and we'll see you in the next deep dive.
Bye.
Bye.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of Learn English Quickly with Podcast on Talk English to Me. We hope you enjoyed these lessons and found them helpful in your journey to mastering English. Remember, the key to improving is practice, so keep going, and we'll be here every step of the way.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Santa, and I can't wait to bring you even more lessons in the next episode. Keep practicing, stay motivated, and you'll see progress in no time. See you soon.